Good day, dear viewers, and welcome to a new episode of Glamour Woman. With us in this program, as you've, let's say, been known and seen, that we get introduced to great women and, of course, a great platform of women with great achievements. With us, we would like to welcome one of the great women that has a great even profession herself. With us, we would like to welcome engineer atharii. We're really happy to have you here today.
Thank you, Hiba. It's lovely to be here.
So, atharii, when we were discussing before, let's say, the interview, you talked about your profession, and you told us that it is horticulturist, which is to me is something really new, and to let's say hear about it is something interesting. So maybe you'd like to highlight it to the audience more.
Yeah, well, horticulture combines the art and science of plants together. So it's a combination of a lot of things. We do nursery management, we do plant selection, plant palettes for urban landscaping, we do data collection, but we're more into specialized plants and also into floriculture. So it's quite specialized. It's not so general.
Yes. So talking about your profession and dealing with clients and of course, let's say people who are actually in our society, that ones that you are associated with, when you tell them about your work and the type of work you're doing, do they really get confused between it and between, let's say, something else when that matter?
Yeah, for sure, because a lot of people think it involves more like something like farming, you know?
Yes.
It's so general. They want me to grow cucumbers in the greenhouses. That's not what I do, you know? If you want me to select a plant palette for you for urban landscapes or even natural landscapes, I'm the person to go to.
Yes. Talking about that particular job and being an engineer, of course, working, we all know that engineer especially works, let's say, the whole week itself, maybe having 1 to 2 days off, and then it is a heavy duty job which requires you being committed from morning until maybe noon, or let's say not even noon, let's say 5 to maybe 6 p.m. sometimes if it needed. So dealing with that hectic life and hectic job, how do you find it so far?
I love it. It's something that I really enjoy because, you know, Hiba, it's a passion of mine, so it doesn't really feel like work. If it's something you love, you wake up every day and you feel motivated to do it. So definitely, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, so basically, of course, in the end, since you are actually working in that field, and something that is really important, even for the audience to know and highlight more about, is as long as you love something, and especially when it comes into a job, you will actually, let's say, not even feel bored working, and actually you will feel really sad if you actually stop working. Am I right when it comes into that?
Don't tell me about it. The weekend's the hardest.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
atharii, as you now mentioned, the weekends. We all know that here in Kuwait, most probably, even when it comes into our family, the weekend is divided into the, let's say, mother side of the family and the father side of the family. So when it comes into that, like, how do you actually spend your weekends when it comes into, let's say, do you spend it with the family? Do you have special, let's say, day only for you, let's say, to enjoy it more often?
Yeah, for sure. Like on Friday, it's my me day, you know? It's the whole day off.
Yes.
Get to sleep in, go to the gym, socialize a little, catch up with some friends, maybe catch up on some work if I wanted to do something. And for Saturdays, it's pretty much my family time. It's a time to reconnect and just, you know, switch off and enjoy my family, basically.
Yes. So, atharii, as we see that social media is really important, and it is really, let's say, taking a very big part of our society and life. Talking about that, and as you just mentioned now, switching it all off and trying to, let's say, just spend my time with the family and friends and enjoy my day and even the family day. How do you evaluate social media in our life so far? Let's say, talking from your own perspective as a woman that has a really great career and great achievement. And of course, we've all known, seen that women has their own independency. How do you relate to it? Like, do you feel that social media is reflecting on that side of women having their independency in a correct and right way, or do you feel that it is more of, let's say, not well presented to the people?
Well, Heba, it's a really loaded question there. I'd have to say, you know, you've got the good and the bad with everything. It depends how you use it. It's a great platform because you could reach out to so many people and basically connect to people that you would never normally cross paths with. So it's this beautiful thing if you use it in the correct way, you know. And of course, there are certain aspects of social media that we don't want to touch on, and you may not, basically connect to. But I think as a person, you get to choose what you want to watch or what you want to follow, and you take from it what you want and what you don't. It's up to you at the end of the day.
Indeed, totally agree with you on that point. Now, atharii, talking about your job again, maybe the audience would like to know more about why did you choose it? Like, what was the story behind it? How did atharii find herself in exactly that part of engineering?
Well, I have to say, it's always been a passion of mine because, if you've ever been to the desert since I was young, you'd see it all this beige, and it's all really plain and everything. And then when you go in the winter, you go to some really nice places out on the borders, you get to see it in winter and spring, and it really blooms. And you get to appreciate it more, Hiba, because you get to have this connection that it had to withstand all this heat, all that summer, lack of water, just to survive and to just, flourish like that.
Yes.
And I have to say, when I was younger, Hiba, I got my first plant in Wafa farm, and it was a Purple Heart. And I felt, I just loved it too much.
Yes.
Yeah, connected to it. And then, but I have to tell you, Hiba, it didn't survive. I killed it.
Yeah.
My first plant died.
Yeah, I mean, eventually everything at the beginning,
I was
if you have it, it's something new and something difficult. And as you just mentioned, you're just 8. So I think it was a really big, let's say, pressure, especially when it died, because you get connected to it. And at a very younger age, being 8 and dealing with death and life, this is something really big.
I think it was also over care, Hiba. You get that point where you're like, you love something so much, you're like, if I water it more, it'll
grow.
And you didn't know how to manage it.
Totally agree on that point. Had a really, let's say, bad history about that section. Not tell the audience about it. Now, behind also the story of your specialization, where did you study it? Like, did you have it here in Kuwait, or did you have an abroad experience on that matter?
Well, I'll have to tell you, I started off doing my bachelor's at University of Queensland, and I did applied science, majoring in horticulture. Then I did a master's degree at the University of Melbourne on urban horticulture. And then now I'm currently doing my PhD with the University of Antwerp on bioengineering science. But I want to give a big shout out to one person that really helped me get a background on native plants in Kuwait, and his name is Processo.
Yes.
And he used to work at the Public Authority of Agriculture and Fisheries, and he pretty much taught me everything I know about native plants.
Yes, and that's really great to hear, and especially talking about, let's say, the support and having somebody to educate you and to help you within the journey itself is something amazing, of course, and something that you really appreciate. And as you mentioned now, that even mentioning his name, because he actually helped you doing all of the achievements that you reached to. And when it comes into the family support, how did you evaluate that family support, especially choosing, let's say, families always tend to let their children choose something easy, something that is actually available and you can actually, let's say, fit within the society. But being with your field, and it is something, let's say, tempting, something new, and something we don't actually do have it a lot here. Like, how did you find that support from that field?
Actually, my family was pretty supportive. They actually just decided that this was the thing for me when I decided to do this. And even when I decided to further my studies and get into doing my master's and PhD, they were really supportive. They're more of like, go achieve your goals, try to live your life to the fullest, and achieve as much as you can, especially in this competitive world, and being a woman, being self-reliant, it's something that they really pushed into me.
Yes, and as you mentioned, that point is really, let's say, important. And dealing with a woman in the society, as we all see now, mashallah, that women are actually being part in a great, let's say, aspects in the society, even having great roles, great positions in work. And of course, not to, let's say, envy the man's world, but actually, it is really great to see that women are flourishing in that field, having a great part in the society and dealing with great jobs. And of course, having you also one of the icons, let's say, being, let's say, more of a in your position, having that passion and trying to, let's say, use it in the correct way, and even actually emphasizing on women around you that you can actually achieve it, you can actually do it and reach towards your goals. And of course, having your family support is something really important in that field. Like, did you emphasize, let's say, maybe your sister or somebody in the family when it comes into your, let's say, your specialization? Like, did you encourage maybe even your friends when knowing more about what you're doing, and how do you actually do it?
I think it's just like because it's such a close knit, especially in the Arab culture. We're very close, we're very family orientated. They're very supportive, and at the same time, I feel like my work does get involved into my
Yes.
household.
Yes.
Because I bring in all these plants and they start taking care of plants, and I'm like, maybe you should take care of this plant, maybe you should put this in your
Yes.
office, and they just get involved in my work also.
Yes.
And yeah, they really, really are supportive.
So thank you very much, Atharii, for this interview. And of course, it was really a pleasure having you here, and all of the success to, let's say, all of the achievement you will be doing.
Thank you, Hiba. It's an honor to be chosen for this. Thank you so much.
And of course, dear viewers, that was our interview with engineer Atharii Mutawwa with her, let's say, great specialization and talking about her professions. Dear viewers, we reached towards the end of the segment. So with that, we're going to end it, and have a great day.
Today, my topic is about women and decoration, hidden therapist. Decoration is one of the things that should be taken care of. It's an interesting tool capable of influencing our mood quite simply, and it's a way to increase our happiness. And when we say design, it certainly means colors, shapes, and size, with all of these elements, characteristics, definitions, and influences not only the place and space, but on man and its natures as well. Therefore, furniture and decor designers tend to search for ideas for new innovations that focus more and more on these elements and employ them in different ways to achieve impressive results. The issue is related to the individual's comfort, ensuring his means of well-being and creating an atmosphere that frees him from the cycle of pressure and daily fatigue, renews his ideas, and provides him with a psychological vitality that helps him to overcome obstacles. Decoration is the therapist. Decoration plays an important role, which is the role of the invisible healer, by evoking a smile or inciting to think about what is outside the framework of work and the requirements of contemporary life. Studies have proven that internal coordination is able to change the mood, and it's even able to control what we feel from feelings such as happiness, depression, and romance. So, those who do not feel happy enough in their workplace should think about redesigning it again. And the balance between the main pieces of furniture and decor reflect a sense of psychological balance that helps relaxation and contentment. The lack of attention to these details and their failure to choose them with extreme accuracy becomes a cause for gloom and sadness. The last tips to make the workplace more comfortable. First one, get rid of old documents. Second, make the office more organized. Third, put a plant. And the last one, put a comfortable picture that brings you happiness in a frame, and spray your favorite perfume.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and we welcome you again in our program, Glamour Women. Of course, as you all know, we introduce you and, of course, the audience themselves more about our women and their great achievements in the society. With us, we would like to welcome trainer in reaching goals with us, Fatma Al-Rashid. We're really happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. It's my pleasure.
So Fatma, at the beginning, talking about being a trainer and especially specialized in reaching goals, this is something really challenging and something really needs, let's say, more of a pressure, more of all your full, let's say, time to deal with clients and deal with that in great aspects. So the first question is, why did you choose that?
Why did I choose such domain? Well, it's an interesting question, and thank you for asking. Because before, as a teenager and in my early child life,
Yes.
I was terrible at achieving my goals. So it became kind of a life dedication to achieve my goals and reach them in the way that is satisfying to me personally.
Yes.
In the beginning, when I started any training, I started my training as an etiquette trainer, not in achieving goals. And as I progressed in life, I realized that I have a true talent in achieving my goals and structuring them in a way that complies with my personality and my lifestyle.
Yes.
So I thought, why keep it to myself? Let us share it with everyone so everyone can benefit.
Yes, and that's really something great and amazing to hear about, especially as you said, sharing it with a person who actually needs help. And as you mentioned, we've all been through, let's say, in our teen life, difficulties in trying to maintain lots of things, actually, not only in goals, but in many great aspects in life, depending on the society itself, depending on whatever we're actually dealing, whether it was, let's say, school achievements, whether it was university achievements, whether it was work achievements. So Fatma, before we continue more on that aspect, tell us more about yourself. Let the audience know more about Fatma Al-Rashid.
Well, by degree, I'm a computer scientist. I graduated from university as a computer programmer. I worked for a while in such thing, and I worked in marketing. See, what I did is usually the American system, when you enter a university, they make you go here and there and everywhere. So
Yes.
therefore, then you limit yourself to the area that you want.
Yes.
I limited myself in the beginning, and in the work field, I tried everything. So in that sense, I tried marketing. I tried making even shows that I have on YouTube.
Yes.
I found myself more in achieving goals and in training and sharing the knowledge and information, because in our life it's a journey. We start in a certain point and we end in another point, but what really matters is what we learn throughout the way.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, now, especially the part that you mentioned when it comes about dealing about all of these specialties and trying all new things after, let's say, you've actually chose your specialty, it's something not really wrong, it's something correct what you did, because it depends. Like for me, I don't feel like it depends in college life, you need to do all of this experience, but after you get secured and you know actually what you're studying and what you reach is the part where you have to, let's say, experience things in life and try new things until you reach towards the things that you actually see yourself in. And now dealing with, let's say, being a computer scientist and working in that field, like, did you actually choose it by yourself, or let's say you were emphasized by the family, or actually, let's say, dealt with it within the college itself?
No, as a child, in the computer itself was very interesting to me. You know, I grew up in the 90s, so in the 90s it was the new thing, you know. We used to go to internet cafes,
Indeed.
I remember,
Indeed.
yeah. And then we got the internet at home, you know, the dial-up and all that. So it was very fascinating to me.
Yes.
So that's why I entered it.
Yes, I actually reached towards C++ and that's it. Like,
Really?
I didn't continue so far. It's like, it's a great achievement. I passed this subject.
Yeah.
But subhanAllah, like, let's say...
I just want to add one
Yeah.
thing on what
Yeah.
you're saying. I started university, before I started, university, I used to be a true failure at school in mathematics, okay?
Yes.
I ended up at the age of 19 being a as a professor assistant in college algebra and in C++ programming.
Yes.
So, and being the black sheep of the family, I mean, that's where I started. But throughout my life, I learned to teach it.
Yes.
You know,
And-
so you don't have to
and
start in one place. And
as you
end.
just
Yeah.
mentioned so far, being that person which is always in the family, like the youngest one, the one that actually doesn't fit in anywhere, and to reach towards, let's say, your goals and achievement is actually something great to see, and to show even the family that you are actually there, you are actually great in your achievements, and you can actually, let's say, reach towards more than your own self could, let's say, measure. So, Fatma, dealing with people are really challenging because we've associated with them in our all daily life. There are people who are really tempered, people who are really friendly, and some people that are too friendly that you could actually feel sorry for them because they could, let's say they do actually believe everyone around them, whether it was wrong or right. So when it comes into dealing with being a trainer and dealing with such people platform, like how do you manage to evaluate them and try to deal with them, especially as we just mentioned, there are, let's say, different personalities and different difficulties.
Definitely. Well, training as a trainer, we are trained in specific ways to identify the trainers very quickly.
Yes.
And that's very important for us, and to know those techniques while we're training. Plus, I've taken a lot of training with trainers on personality types.
Yes.
So it's very crucial, and it helped me a lot in dealing with my normal life, you know. So I mean, as I told you, I took 2 courses in training. The first one I took while I was in university. I didn't train back then, but it helped me a lot in life.
Yes.
So what you do is not only for you. You only do you do it for yourself and for your profession.
Yes.
So those are techniques. At the end, there are different techniques that you can see.
Yes. Fatma, dealing with people, of course, and giving courses, like how do you see it so far? Like, is it something important? Because people do actually, let's say that we have lots of trainers, and each trainer varied from the way they present themselves, the way they present their methods and ideas and so far, that we actually reach to a point we get really confused to which trainer do I prefer to choose, or which trainer will actually fit me. So how do you see that? How can a person know which trainer fits them and take, let's say, courses when it comes into that matter with him?
Well, really it depends on the person himself, you know. Usually trainers do a lot of introduction to their courses and have a lot of free content. They can choose from that. But mainly, even if you go to a training, even if you go to even a 3-month training, like we went to universities, yeah? At the end, we needed to do work on our own, you know? We needed to read books, practice, do tutorials, many things, okay? So there's a part of it that depends on the trainer, and there's like a huge percentage depends on the person, you know? A lot of people that finish 4-year college, and out of the 1,000, one becomes a success. Why? This person worked on themselves. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, Fatma, dealing with reaching goals, and how do you evaluate it? Like, some people say that, you're in high school, you don't need to actually go to a trainer to set your goals because you're still young, you didn't see university, you didn't actually been associated with the society itself. Wait until you graduate, or wait until you reach to a certain point that you actually, let's say, or a certain age, which is actually suitable for you to go to a trainer. Is that really true? That you need to reach to a certain age to have a trainer, especially in, let's say, reaching your goals, or it depends or varied between one person to another?
Honestly, myself, I've trained people from 6 years old and above. So it doesn't really have an age.
Yes.
I think in this day and now, an era, you can train even through YouTube. You don't have to go to a trainer. Thanks to Corona,
Yes.
you know, you train at home. So, I mean...
Now, you reach to a very, let's say, important matter, an important point, which is learning through social media or media platform by general. Talking about what we've been through, of course, during COVID and all of the updates that we reached and everything that we actually started to value. Now, as you mentioned, before we used to tell people not to focus on social media that much. Now we're telling people, It is actually something useful, especially during the conditions that we've been through. How do you see that? Like, is it really true? Do we actually can learn through media? We can learn through YouTube channels and so on?
So yeah, definitely. It depends on the platform. It depends on who is on the platform and who are you listening to and taking information.
Yes.
But the most important thing is not only taking the knowledge, it's how to apply it to your life. And to know how to apply it, to know to have different mistakes while applying it and have the journey to succeed in that.
Yes.
Whatever
that
you,
matter
yeah,
itself.
whatever information you have.
Fatma, maybe you'd like to highlight more or give any tips or advice for the audience that are watching us, especially some people, let's say, do see themselves that they are, let's say, a lost case, that we're really backdated and it is no longer valid for us to go and reach a trainer in order for us to reach to our goals. So maybe you'd like to give them, let's say, more of a tip or advice.
For those people, I say one thing: it's your call. Whatever you want in life, you will get. If you want to work hard, you're gonna get a result. Life is a journey. Life, we start at one point in our journey, and it is up to us where to go. You know, trainers are there. If you want a real life, you need to move. A trainer will not come to you. You know, and finding a purpose in life and breathing that passion, you know, no matter where you are. We have people in many cases in life and many stages in life. Like, for example, Thomas Edison, 99 times he failed, you know. Have you failed at least 10 times? You know? So live life, enjoy, and whatever comes, circumstances will always come. You know, you say, I'm in this circumstance. Well, that's fine. Nobody told you to go to the moon. Just do the best of what you have currently. And it's a new year. It's a fresh start. So it's an amazing time for us to write. I want to say one thing. Everyone should have at least one goal. Don't have too many goals that you overwhelm yourself.
Yes.
Have at least one goal.
That is my problem. I have different mini goals and then I'm, let's say, in my own circle, not reaching towards that. Yeah.
Yeah, so just have at least one goal.
Yes.
That gives you the most satisfaction, and it's the highest on your list of priorities.
Yes.
That will give you more confidence and will make you happier.
Yes.
In whatever situation that you're in.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes, thank you very much, Fatma, for your time and to have you here with us, guests, and this great interview. So we wish you all the success in life, and of course, when it comes into even your training.
Thank you. It was my pleasure, and honestly, it's a delight to meet you in person. Thank you very
so
much.
Welcome to our segment. Today we will talk about the traditional clothes in Arabian Gulf. Bahraini dresses for women are variant. The most popular ones are abaya, which is a long, loose-fitting black gown that falls to the floors and covers the arms. Abayas are also seen with various lace works and other trims decorating the edges. For special events, women wear brightly colored dresses called jalabiya, which has intricate embroidery. A national dress is a garment made of the light fabric with the bright colors, and its basic colors are red, green, blue, purple, and black. The Omani traditional clothing for women is called Omaniya, which comes from the Arabic word, which in direct translation means something or someone being Omani. The woman's Omaniya dress consists of 4 main clothing items: dishdasha or kandura, wuqaya or lahaf. The traditional dress of the United Arab Emirates female is a plain black abaya and hijab. As well, the most popular size of head covering in the UAE is actually called the shayla. It's a long rectangular scarf that covers the head, but also falls below the shoulders. Another word that often gets confused is the burqa. In other parts of the world, the burqa refers to the garment that covers women completely from head to toe. However, in the Emirates, the burqa is a type of veil that looks similar to a visor. The traditional women's dress in Saudi Arabia varies according to the region, and traditional women's clothing includes clothes for daily use, clothes for occasion, and other for going out, ornaments and decorations. The dara'a is the main traditional dress for women in the eastern, northern, and central regions, which is a loose dress that reaches the ankles, gradually narrowing to reach the wrist. The traditional clothes for Kuwaiti women is the which is a long robe with long sleeves, the quality of the fabric being cotton or silk. Thawb Thuraya was embroidered with the Ottoman gold lira, and this dress comes as the beginning of many Kuwaiti popular and elegant designs so far. The bukhnag is a head covering for the girls that covers the hair completely and has a circular opening that surrounds the face, so only the front of the hair.